You guys didn't know if you run too far away from like the town, you get blown up. Tell everyone that special story. Which one? I have many special stories. Like chicane. Alright, I'll do chicane.
La guerre ne meurt jamais.
Tu vas les épater ce soir à la réunion des vétérans. Évidemment. Maintenant arrête de t'admirer et file te préparer.
Bien.
The sushi story. The one we don't talk about. We talk about the sushi story all the time. Grandpa gas, that's a good story. The time that we thought my grandpa was literally about to die. We thought he was having a heart attack in the restaurant. And it turns out he just was really constipated. That's a good story. Oh, that one. That story. Record is still free. That story, chicane. I can tell that story. Who wants to hear the Now this word is banned in my chat. It's an unofficial rule, but this word is banned for it gives you a 10-minute timeout. Who wants to hear the SNUFFLEUPAGUS story?
Codsworth. Hey, Trésor.
T'as le trac? Arrête. Tout le monde va adorer ton discours.
Banned word, by the way. Alright. By a show of hands, who hasn't heard this story? Press 1 if you haven't heard this story. I just want to see how many people haven't heard this story. Because it's on my YouTube, so I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. We got a good amount.
Ouais. Bonjour.
You guys want to hear the SNUFFLEUPAGUS story?
Ravi de vous rencontrer alors.
Oh, mais je...
Intéressant.
Oh, ça l'est.
D'accord. Merci encore. Hey, Trésor. Ce que je ne ferai pas pour Sean et toi.
Don't spoil it now. Don't spoil the story.
N'est-ce pas?
Only story time if you all promise not to //
Tu as entendu quoi de
I'll put on the cam for the story.
Alors, comment vont mes hommes préférés? Fais-toi
All
un
right.
peu le mobile. Il adore.
So, there's this little boy. He's about like 5 years old. He's 5, 6.
Je pensais qu'on pourrait aller faire
Not,
un
he's
tour
not
au
5'6". He's either 5 or 6ish. You know, he's in kindergarten. Kindergarten for
Qu'est-ce qui se passe?
those not Americans, because a lot of people who are European, we talk about the education system, and I don't believe that you guys call it kindergarten. It's the grade that you're in when you're 5, 6. It's like the first grade that you go to in elementary school for us. It's after preschool. Anyways. So this kid's in kindergarten. 5, 6 years old. He's like just learning to read. And you know how in like grade school they always have silent reading time. So one day, this boy, he had just finished his like picture book that he had checked out from the library, and when he got to school, he turned it in because that's what you're supposed to do. He was going to be checking out a new one later on that day because they always go to the library at the end of the day. But for the rest of the day, he just didn't have a book, which is okay. Except at one point in the day, the teacher said, you know what, we're going to do something a little different today. We're going to have silent reading, where you guys can just sit at your desk and read your books. And they hadn't been to the library, so the boy hadn't got a new book yet. So the kid's like, oh man, what do I do? So he goes up to the teacher and goes, teacher, I don't have a book. I returned it this morning because we were going to the library today. And teacher's like, oh, that's okay. I have a ton of books right over there that you can read. So the boy walks over to all the books and he's looking. There's like the picture books and stuff, just various books. And he noticed that she has a dictionary. And the boy, having just learned how to read and stuff like that, he decided to look up some words in the dictionary. You know, just see what he finds. And he looks up like basic words he knows, like bed. He looks at around the desk. Oh, I see. Or looks around the class, sees the word. He sees the desk. He's like, oh, I'll look up the word desk. You know. And after a little bit, the boy's like, oh, I'm gonna look up some naughty words. So he starts looking up like pee and poo and stuff like that. And he's flipping through. He's flipping through the book. Whoa. He's flipping through the book, and he's in the S section, and he's just kind of like just going through, trying to read some of the big words. Oh, the doctor got stuck. Rip. 1 second. Doctor got stuck, so I have to reset. So, this boy, like, he's looking through the S words, he's just like going through all the big words, trying to read them, trying to find a certain word he's looking for. I won't say the one, you guys know the one. And he finds a word that just has the word and then the hyphen next to it. And he's like, why doesn't this have a definition? So, the boy's just kind of sitting there, kind of just like dumbfounded, like, what? I don't get this. So he goes up to the teacher and says, teacher, I found a word that doesn't have a definition. Can you tell me what it means? And the teacher's like, huh, it does have a definition? That's weird. What was the word? And the boy goes, he's trying to think and remember the word because it was really big. He finally remembers it, and he says real proudly, SNUFFLEUPAGUS. And the teacher's smile just drops from her face. The color rushes away from her face, and she just goes pale. She goes, what did you just say? And the boy's like, a SNUFFLEUPAGUS?
Merci, Cotsworth.
And the teacher points at the door, and she goes, principal's office now. I don't want to see you again in my classroom. So the kid's like, what? And the teacher goes, now! Like, the teacher, it looks like she's starting to have tears, you know. And, like, the kid's just like, what? And she's like, no! She just screams at him.
Hey, Cotsworth.
So the kid just, like, panics, and he just runs out of the classroom. He's like, he has to go to the office. So he's like, oh, what? You know, he's just confused. He doesn't know what just happened. So he walks down to the office, and secretary's at the principal's, or at her desk, and she's like, okay, your teacher called and told us you'd be coming down here. Please take a seat. We'll wait for the principal. So the boy, he takes a seat in the waiting chair. And keep in mind, he's this little boy. He's got these short legs, and they're dangling off the edge of the chair, swinging back and forth, just waiting. Like, I'm sure this is just a misunderstanding. Like, he's thinking to himself, this has to be wrong. Like, there's no reason why I should be sent down here, you know? So he's sitting there. What seems like an eternity passes by. It was 3 minutes. What seems like an eternity passes by. And eventually he hears the principal's doors open. The principal's door open, and he looks, and the principal's standing there. Now the principal, 1 second. The principal's this real big burly dude. He's got bald head, like, and it's not like bald like it's not like he's bald because he shaves it and it's like stubbly. It's bald because he's just bald. So it's real shiny. And he's just this big dude. He's like 6'6", like 320 pounds. Big dude. But he's a gentle giant. No one had ever seen him yell. He was very nice with all the kids. Would stop by and have them read to him and stuff like that. And boy had never seen him angry. No one really had. So the principal's like, well, are you gonna come on in? That's the principal voice, by the way. I won't do the principal voice from now on. Anyways, so the boy comes inside, And he sits down on the chair on the opposite side of the principal's desk, and like, you know how like offices are set up where like the desk isn't facing directly at the principal, or like the person is like kind of turned to this, so he's like sitting like this looking at the principal, because like that's how offices are set up. It's like supposed to make people uncomfortable. Chairs are directly at people. Anyways, you know what I'm saying. Kids sitting kind of like diagonally looking at the principal. Oh, come on. Anyways, he's sitting there, and again his legs are dangling. He's talking with the principal, and the principal, he hadn't really heard the full story about why the boy was there. He just knew that he said something inappropriate. So he just straight up asked the boy, well, do you know what you did wrong? And the boy thinks, and he's like, I don't know. And the principal goes, well, what happened? Trying to see if the boy would tell him what happened. So the boy's like, and the principal goes, well, go ahead. And the boy is like, well, I didn't have a library book because I turned it in. We were going to the library later on that day, or LMC. He calls it the LMC, but I'll keep calling it the library. We were going to the library later on that day, or later on today, and I didn't have my book. So I asked the teacher for one, and I got a dictionary, and I was reading through it trying to find a word, and I found a word that didn't have the what it meant next to it. And the principal goes, okay, because the boy kind of paused, and the principal goes, okay, and then what? And the boy goes, well, I went up to Miss Teacher, and I asked her what the word meant, and she told me to come here. And the boy's now starting to think, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. Why would the teacher say this? Has to be a misunderstanding. So the boy's starting to feel a little confident. And the principal goes, okay, well, what was the word? And the boy then gets a little apprehensive. He's like, The principal goes, on with it. And the boy goes, it was SNUFFLEUPAGUS. The teacher stands up so fast, like the back of his knees hit this chair, and it goes, the back of his knees hit the chair, and it goes flying back. Also, my shirt was tucked in because I was wearing it under I was wearing it under like a sweatshirt earlier, and you tuck in shirts when it's cold weather. You tuck in your undershirt in cold weather, so then it like breezes don't get on your stomach and shit. That's why my shirt's still tucked in. Anyways, stands up so fast, his chair goes shooting back and hits the wall, and his face is immediately red. He points at the door and goes, you get out of my school. And the boy's like, what? And the principal's like, I never want to see you again. He goes, you are not permitted on this property. And the boy's like, what? And he goes, I'm calling your, and the principal's just like, out now. So the boy just kind of like stumbles backwards out of the room. And he just doesn't know what just happened, right? So he's like kind of just like standing in the office with his mouth agape, his jaw hanging, and the secretary, having overheard what happened, says, "Oh, are you fucking kidding me?" She doesn't say, "Are you fucking kidding me?" The secretary goes, "I'll call your parents," and the boy starts like sitting in the lounge, and then he hears the principal yell, "I swear to God, if you're sitting in the lounge and you're not out of my school." So the boy, he just panics. He gets up and he runs outside and he sits on the curb, right? So the boy's now just sitting on the curb outside, waiting for his parents. 5 minutes pass. 10 minutes pass. 15 minutes pass, and eventually the blue Honda Odyssey minivan that is his family car pulls up. His dad's driving. His mom is in the passenger seat. And he knows this is a big deal because his dad's there, and his dad works during the day. So he knows this is a big deal. So the boy gets up. The automatic door of the van opens. Boy sits down, buckles his seatbelt in his car seat because they're safe parents. So they keep him in a car seat. So they start driving home. Silence in the car. No one says a word. 5 minutes pass. The dad finally says, "Well, what happened?" And the boy goes, "Well, Dad just yells, "Out with it!" Or no, he yells, "Spit it out." My bad. He yells, "Spit it out." So the boy goes, I was in class and I found a word in the big book with it didn't have what it meant next to it, and I wanted to know what it mean. So and Dad's like, "Slow down." So the boy catches his breath, and again he collects himself and says, "Okay, I found a word in the dictionary that didn't have a meaning, and I asked my teacher what it meant, and she sent me to the principal, and then the principal told me to leave, and yeah." And the dad just sits there like, not really sure what to say then, because it seems so minor. He's trying to think of all the different words, like he's just going through everything in his head, you know? Was it the F word? Was it the C word? Was it the N word? All these things, right? They're sitting there, and the mom just, out of sheer curiosity, goes, "Well, what was the word?" And the boy goes, "Oh, I don't know if I should." And then the mom just starts breaking down. "What was the word?" And the boy just goes, "SNUFFLEUPAGUS?" The dad slams on the brakes so hard the car immediately fills with the smell of burnt rubber. Immediately. He just jerks forward. Like, everyone in the car just lunges forward because of how fast they stopped. The dad immediately unbuckled his seatbelt, walked around the car, and yanked open the door so hard that the automatic motor, like the gear for the automatic motor, broke, and just pulled the kid out and goes, "I never want to see you again. You are dead to me." The mom is just bawling. Not in, "How could you do this to our only child?" In a, "Oh my God, I'm never going to see my child again" type way. The boy's like, "What? Dad closes the door and then gets in the front seat. And the boy's trying to pull the door open, but the motor just broke. He can't open it. He's not strong enough. The thing is like jammed. So the dad just drives away. And the boy doesn't know where to go. He's just lost. He doesn't know his way home. He's 5, 6. He lives like 15 minutes away from the school. How is he gonna get back, you know? They were planning on having more kids. That's why they had the minivan. Anyways, the kid just starts walking because he doesn't know how to get home. So he just starts walking. He keeps walking. The sun starts setting. He keeps walking. Hours pass. It gets real dark out. The boy has no clue where he is. He's on some gravel road somewhere. He doesn't know how to get home. Excuse me. Eventually, headlights. A car's approaching him. Car rolls to a stop. The boy notices there's a weird paint job. It's black and white. And the boy realizes, oh my God, it's a cop. The cop gets out with his flashlight, shines it at the boy, and goes, "Say, son, what are you doing out here all alone this late?" And the boy's like, And the cop just walks up to the boy, gets down on one knee, goes, "No need to be shy." Points at the badge. Points at his badge on his chest. "This means I'll protect you. Don't worry." And the boy's like, The boy goes, "Don't worry, I won't bite." Or the cop goes, "Don't worry, I won't bite." So the boy goes, "Well, I was in class, and I asked my teacher what a word meant, and then she kicked me out of the class, and then I told the principal, and the principal kicked me out of the school, and then I told my dad and mom, and..." The boy starts, he's about to cry. He's starting to lose it. He's starting to really realize what happened. And the cop pats him on the shoulder. He's like, there. So I'll take you back to the station. We'll get you warmed up and we'll get this all sorted out. You'll be home by the morning. Or you'll be home by the end of the night. The boy's like, oh, okay. Boy starts walking. And right when they're about to get to the car, the cop opens the door for the boy and says, You never said what that word was. What was it? And the boy goes, I don't know. The cop goes, don't worry, I won't do anything. Scout's honor. Alright, this run's dead. He goes, don't worry, Scout's honor. Also, you can't say that word, Matt Waves. 10-minute timeout. So the boy goes, oh, the word. It was snuffleupagus. The cop, instead of opening the front door, hold on. Let me quit out a follow. I got an idea. The cop, instead of opening the front door, immediately changes the direction of his hand and grabs the kid by his forearm. He grabs him with his other hand by the shoulder, and he pins him up against the car. Pins him up against the car. And he starts reading him his Miranda rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be held against you in the court of law. And the kid's like, wait, what? Before he knows it, the cops are on him. The kid's fucking arrested. And the cop just opens the back door and tosses the kid in. Doesn't care that he's not sitting up. Just slams the door, drives down to the station. Lights on, by the way. It's not like he's going to take his time. He's getting that kid there ASAP. That kid needs to be locked up, right? So, they get to the police station. The kid, they have no clue how to get this kid in touch with his parents. Because the kid doesn't know his phone number. He barely knows his last name. So, anyways. Time passes. Kid is in police custody. And eventually, he appears in front of a judge, right? So, kid is walking up to the judge with his hands cuffed, and walks up to the judge, and the judge looks up from his papers, looks down at the boy, and goes, "This has to be some kind of joke, right?" The police officer who arrested the boy is obviously there because he has to represent the other side. He goes, "No, sir, it's not." The judge then goes, "All right, tell me what happened." Looks at the boy, expecting him to speak. And the boy's like, The judge goes, "Go on." The boy goes, "Well, I was in school, and I found this word that didn't have what it meant next to it, and I asked my teacher, and the teacher, she sent me to the principal, and the judge's like, "Slow down, boy, slow down. I can hardly hear you. Speak up." And the boy goes, he starts hyperventilating. He eventually catches his breath, collects himself again. He goes, "I told the principal what happened. They kicked me out of the school, and I told my parents what happened, and they kicked me out of the family. I told the cop what happened, and you arrested me." The judge goes, "So hold on. You're meaning to tell me that this man right here, he arrested you because you said a word?" And the kid goes, "Yeah." The judge looks over at the cop to reaffirm what the kid had just said. The cop just nods. The judge goes, "Oh, what was the word, boy?" And the boy just goes, "Snuffleupagus." And the judge goes, "What was that? I didn't hear you." The boy goes, "Snuffleupagus." The gavel falls. 30 to life. The boy goes to jail. He doesn't go to juvie. He goes to a fucking maximum security prison as a 5-year-old. So, clearly he has no clue what's going on. No clue. Doesn't make any friends while he's there. He's in there for like 35 years, right? So he's now 40. He hasn't talked to anyone since, because the last time he spoke, he got fucking thrown in jail. Like, what is he going to do, right? He doesn't want to keep talking because he doesn't want to get fucking shivved. So, anyways, kid's in jail for 35 years. And eventually, he gets let out on good behavior for being a model prisoner. Because he literally just kept himself and helped squeegee the floors. That's all he did, right? So this kid, he gets out of jail and he has nowhere to go. Absolutely nowhere to go. So he just starts walking, just like he did last time. He just walks. He walks and he walks. He doesn't know where he is. He hasn't been outside in 35 years, and he was 5 years old when He's 5 years old when that happened. He doesn't know. So he walks. He walks. He walks. Eventually comes to a small downtown area of a small town of like population like 3,000 to 5,000. Not very big, but he just walks and doesn't have anywhere to go, and it's getting dark and he's tired. He's been walking all day, so he gets up to side of a building, slumps down next to it, just like that. He's just sitting there. He starts dozing off, and then he hears footsteps approaching him, walking by. So this boy kind of like glances over and sees it's like a scraggly looking dude who appears to be homeless, just like the boy is now. So he just kind of goes back and like looks down and tries to fall asleep, and this homeless dude just sits down next to him. And the homeless dude kind of looks over and goes, "What's your story?" And the boy just kind of looks up, looks back down, doesn't wanna talk, because he has, as you know, last time he's been talking to people, bad shit happens. So he just doesn't say anything. The homeless guy goes, "Oh, come on, everyone's got a story. Gotta tell me. How else are we gonna pass the time?" So the boy just goes, "Just got out of jail." Homeless guy says, "I did my time. I did my time too." "What were you in for?" Boy goes, "Well, when I was real little, I said this word in school. I got kicked out of my class. And then got kicked out of the school. And then got kicked out of my family. Then got arrested. Then I had to serve 35 years. I was in jail. Sorry, Benfunio, you can't say that word in chat. 35 years I've been in jail. I'm sorry, that sounds probably so stupid. And while he's saying that, he looks up, and the homeless guy is just staring at him. Just his mouth, his jaw dropped, mouth agape, like the character earlier in the story, like. And the homeless guy goes, "What's the word, SNUFFLEUPAGUS?" And now the kid's like, "What?" He like, the kid freaks out. He freaks out. He's like, "How did you know?" The homeless guy says, "Same thing happened to me." The boy is now just in shock. How could someone experience the same exact thing that he did? That's such a unique scenario. How does that happen to another person? Like, you know? So the kid says, "Do you know what it means?" The homeless guy's like, "Yes, I do. But I can't tell you." Kid goes, "Well, you have to. How else will I find out what it means?" Homeless guy just says, "Well, you're in luck. You're in the right town, boy. You see that clock tower right over there at the top of that church? Right up there, there's a bell. On the inside of the bell is the definition of the word SNUFFLEUPAGUS. It's inscribed on the inside of that bell. So, you just go inside that there building, hanging immediate left, and there's this tall spiral staircase. You just gotta go all the way up. Once you get up there, there's a trap door, okay? And it kind of gets like stuck sometimes. You just gotta push up a little bit, or you gotta push up and then let it drop and push up some more, and they'll come right undone. And then climb up the ladder. You get up there, and you read the inside of the bell, and that is the definition of the word SNUFFLEUPAGUS. The kid, he's like, "Oh my God, thank you, I'll be right back." And the guy says, "I'll be waiting here." Kid just gets up, and he goes to run across the road to get to that there clock tower. He's sprinting, goes across the road. Hit by a Greyhound bus. Always look both ways before you cross the road. Merbs, cut the shit. I think that's a good way to end the stream. Let's raid this dude who has just a handful of viewers. Alright, guys. Let's raid this guy. We're gonna say yay when we get into his chat, okay? Sorry to rile you guys up before we do this. I'm gonna say yay in his chat, just like this. Yay. 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 Thank you all for sticking with me through this harsh and trying time. Hope you guys have a great night. Love you all very much. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. Peace out, guys.